are back where they feel they belong on the famous Hill 16 today. Thousands of Dublin supporters today and in the past, and no doubt in the future, will have it to say, I watched our heroes from Hill 16.
And the whole of Roscommon practically on the goal line, dancing up and down.
Affairs between Meath and Dublin, usually very little in it, but always the edge in the end falling to Meath. Well, today Dublin's fans returned to Hill 16 for the fourth final in a row between the two counties. So could their side turn the tables this time, or would the experience of the reigning champions see them through? Well, that question was answered in a pulsating 70 minutes of football, and Jimmy McGee was there to commentate.
O'Malley's free kick to Jerry McEntee. McEntee looks for Bernard Flynn. Flynn beats Sinnott. Makes the space. Feeds Colin O'Rourke. Here's a chance for Meath. Good point. Good football by a good footballer. Bernard Flynn was the creator. Great piece of play by Flynn and good finish by O'Rourke. Duff with Ferguson. Duff pushed in the back and got away with it. Oh, great goal! Kieran Duff. A magic goal by a great footballer. Duff making the incision, leaving Terry Ferguson in his wake. Nobody came to challenge him early enough. Duff went through. What about that for finish, huh? Paul Kern is doing a roving commission. Barney Rock's playing right corner forward, and Vincent Murphy's playing left half forward in the Dublin team. This is Martin O'Connell for Meath. PJ Gillick. On mark, Bernard Flynn, chance of a score. And Bernard Flynn obliges, and Meath and Dublin are level. Flynn having a superb first quarter of an hour. Dave Sinnott and Bernard Flynn work together in the same firm. They mark each other today. That's Vincent Murphy with an Australian rules type jump. To Tommy Carr. Straight duel between McNally and Harnan. And Harnan did well. Not well enough for the referee's liking, though. And the Meath supporters don't like it either. That's one part of the game, but back about 70 yards, it's a free for Dublin. That's the answer to all the booing. Put it over the bar. Ten minutes to half-time. Dublin lead by a point. Liam Hayes for Meath. Down between Bernard Flynn and Michael Deegan. And this time the defender wins the duel. Keith Barr for Dublin. Terry Ferguson reading the situation and doing very well. Ryan Stafford doesn't miss too many, so he can be forgiven that one. John O'Leary, O'Dwyer's club, one of the safest, most respected goalkeepers. Tommy Carr, his brother in the Tipperary hurling team. Good jumping. Here is Tommy Carr. Joe McNally. Joe McNally in the path of Barney Rock. Dublin score on. And Barney obliges. Joe McNally did extremely well then. He knew if he caught that ball, Liam Harnan would be on him like a ton of bricks. So he flicked it aside. Barney was reading it. And now the scoreboard keeper's reading it. Horriglines, free kick for Meath. Keith Ball, tackled by Stafford. Stafford to Colm Coyle. Coyle with close control. Wins a free kick. And this will be the first chance for Brian Stafford to test himself since an injury at the top of his left thigh. He scored 1 point in this game thus far, and aiming for his 62nd point in Meath's run towards 4 Leinster championships. Well, that's the answer. Eamon Heary, John O'Leary. Martin O'Connell. Martin O'Connell to Liam Hayes. Foul by Paul Clark. And Stafford will try from the 45-metre line. Well, when he steals a little bit, it won't be quite that. Make it 44 metres. Mick Deegan and Bernard Flynn doing all the hopping and trotting. Flynn's done a lot of good work off the ball, mind you, so that's not just a flash in the pan you're seeing. Here's Brian Stafford. It's beautiful to see a confident kicker in action. He's got 3 points for Meath, Barney Rock's got 3 points for Dublin, and you won't find better exponents of the dead ball than those two. It's a sensational atmosphere at Croke Park. Really very tense, and it must be for the players down there on the field as well. Sideline ball, Eamon Heary. Martin O'Connell punched away. Here's Kieran Duff, the man who got Dublin's goal early in the game. Good blocking there, Jerry McEntee. And here's McEntee available again to take the pass from Terry Ferguson and set things up for Meath. Good cover by Mick Kennedy. Great defender is Mick. Keith Ball. Between Martin O'Connell and Vincent Murphy. And a sideline ball for the Dubs. Vincent Murphy, Martin O'Connell in your picture. And out of the ball, Barney Rock. Now, for a right-footed kicker from that sort of angle, it would suggest a centre. Kevin Foley down. Free kick for Meath, which Michael McQuillan takes. Mick Kennedy gets in a toe again to it. To Dave Foran. Foul by Colm O'Rourke. And the lecture is pretty obvious, and the reasons were even more so. Here's a chance to look at it again. You'll see that Dave Foran was the ball, and O'Rourke, yes, he left the leg in a little. That's Vinnie Murphy, you're looking there, grimacing as the ball comes in between himself and Martin O'Connell. O'Connell gets the fist. Here's Kieran Duff. Over the ball, but Duff was kicking goal. And that ball came to Kieran Duff. There was no doubt about his intentions. He hit it with ferocity. Eamon Heary continuing as he started. Solid, consistent with the Dublin half-back line. Porrick lines for Meath. Between Brian Stafford and Jerry Horgan, but they needn't bother. Tommy Carr for Dublin. Tommy Carr to Michael Deegan. Michael Deegan to Dave Foran. And here's Deegan again. The man who's come into the match for Dave Sinnott. And who came back to cover him? The man he should be marking, Bernard Flynn. Well done, Bernard Flynn. It's a terrific contest at maybe not the most flowing open football game, but what do you expect in the Leinster final? Eamon Healy. A lot of action off the ball in around the square. Pulled down by Kevin Foley. Out between Barr and Coyle, but again the pass wasn't good enough to give either of them a chance. Barr's sideline kick, and a good one it is too. The smoke from the hill, and the flick in there. Murphy's on it again for the Dubs. Trying to get inside, trying to find somewhere to throw a leg at it. And would you believe it's still hanging about, but finally goes over the bar. Eddie Murphy in the thick of things and the thick of the smoke as well. I don't know what's on fire, but it's not the hill. It's coming from in around between the Nally and the Hogan stands. And here's Mick Kennedy. Paul Clark. Martin O'Connell. And it wouldn't hold for Colin O'Rourke. It does at the second attempt. He runs into Paul Clark, wins a free kick. In fact, now the fire would appear to be outside the ground. Brian Stafford shapes up to his fourth point of the match. No sooner said than done. (1-5) to 7 points. Still Dublin, that 1 point ahead. They've got the wind, the Dubs, in the second half to come. And the second half will be the next action you'll see as they go in at half-time. Dublin, 1 goal and 5 points. The goal scored by Kieran Duff, who wasn't scheduled to play. Meath, 7 points. There's no smoke without fire, and there's plenty of fire in this Leinster football final, although this one is as yet unidentified. That's just at the back of the Nally stand, but over on the hill, all for the moment is quiet and content as the Dubs lead by a point. So Sean Kelly restarts the Leinster final of '89. And it'd be a brave man who would bet a penny against either of these sides now. Mick Galvin here for Dublin, between Barney Rock and Porrick-Lines. And covering in behind, it's Terry Ferguson. And no need to tell you that's a free kick as Ferguson came out of the Murphy-Duff sandwich. Terry Ferguson, his father won an All-Ireland with Dublin. Great fetch by Paul Clark, right over the head of the high-leaping Liam Hayes. But at the end, Clark made poor use of his possession. Jerry McEntee, the breaking ball between Joe Castle and Tommy Carr. And that could be quite a duel for the next 29 minutes or whatever is left of this game. Number 5 is Keith Barr, plays his football with the Airns Isle club. Out in the Finglas direction. First championship season with the Dublin seniors. It's a good floater, all right. breaks down. Vincent Murphy it is, and the block was made by Terry Ferguson. Liam Hayes on the break out of defence. Oh, it's a good piece of ball carrying that by Hayes to Colm Coyle. This is a bit like the All-Ireland champions in action now. Coyle to Stafford. Stafford looking for an opening. There are not too many of them. Here's Liam Hayes. And well fielded in there by Keith Barr. And across him came Colm Coyle. Colm Coyle has been brought to the referee, and I should imagine he'll now have an early shower. Jerry McEntee trying to intervene, and if the referee looks, he'll find the name of Colm Coyle there already, and that's it. He's off. Level pegging, and Dublin have not scored in the second half, and the second half is now a quarter of an hour old. Keith Barr into Joe McNally. Michael McQuillan grabs for it as McNally came in again, and Bob O'Malley was the Meath defender there. Kieran Duff in on top of it there, picked off the ground by Liam Hornan. McNally turned on the ball, got the chance, hit it. McQuillan grabbed for it. Duff was the Dublin player coming in. O'Malley was the Meath defender. Great stuff. And here's Barney Rock to take the 45 and look for Dublin's first score of the second half. That's precisely what he does. Barney has scored 4 points, Brian Stafford has scored 4 points, but Kieran Duff is the top scorer with a goal and 2. Anto McCall is warming up on the sideline for Dublin. Alan McNally too. Joe Castles, last year's All-Ireland winning captain, Joe. Good ball too to Bernard Flynn. He needs support. It's not exactly forthcoming with great speed, but remember they're a man down. Here's Paul Clark. Barney Rock, but Martin O'Connell, awaiting the outcome, gets his reward. Terry Ferguson. Mick Kennedy, who's had a great match on Colm O'Rourke. Adjustment of the ball there by Kennedy, got away with it. Tommy Carr, Keith Barr, Kieran Duff. And here's the man who can exploit the extra man. Duff, McNally, good play. And the 1-2 just didn't quite work. But Dave Foran's here for Dublin. Dave Foran to Paul Curran. Here's a chance of a right foot score. And that's it. Paul Curran, his first goal again. And the Dubs edge 2 points in front. Colm O'Rourke claws it down. Mick Kennedy is ever with them. They could wear the same shirt today. They've been so close all day. Martin O'Connell for Meath. Jerry Horgan knocks it away. Here's Joe Castles. Liam Hayes. Across towards Bernard Flynn. On his left foot. Brilliant point by Flynn. Oh, that's a great piece of football. Left foot or right foot, this corner forward from Laytown is something special. Two points separate two great sides. Keith Barr for Dublin. Eamon Heary. Joe Castles comes back at him. And Heary threw the ball, and they're not allowed to do that. Meath supporters will be anxiously looking at the watches. There's 13 minutes to go as Colm O'Rourke tries to get away from Mick Kennedy. No free kick for Colm as Tommy Carr clears for Dublin. To Vinnie Murphy. Lyons takes him down. Remember, Porrick had a lecture from the referee not too long ago for a foul on the same player. And Barney Rock on the 45-metre line or thereabouts to try to put Dublin 3 points ahead. 13 minutes left in the 89 Leinster final. Dublin, 1 goal and 9 points. Meath, no goals and 9 points. Barney Rock has got 5 of those Dublin scores. Paul Clark reaches. Dublin are making good use of this extra man. Mick Kennedy up towards Joe McNally. Bobby O'Malley across with Vinnie Murphy. And one more time O'Malley did well. We've come to expect it of the man now. Porrick Lyons back to his keeper, Michael McQuillan. He to Joe Castles. Joe Castles to Colm O'Rourke. O'Rourke to PJ Gillick. Gillick to McEntee. McEntee to Hayes, looking for a path to goal. He gets a goal every season of spectacular variety. But Dublin are not about to let him through for a free kick. Brian Stafford. Oh, a goal was yawning in front of Stafford that time. A superb piece of football by Liam Hayes set it up. Brian Stafford will know better than any journalist or commentator that should have been in the rigging. Liam Hayes did all the work. A powerful incision by Hayes. Mick Kennedy was the final man to stop him in his path. He played the perfect ball to Stafford over the top. Just 2 points separate the sides. 11 minutes to the full-time whistle. Jerry McEntee with Vinnie Murphy. No foul. Referee standing no more than 2 meters away from the action. But Murphy gets it back, gives it to Galvin, takes the return. Martin O'Connor with the interception. A game with a bit of everything. Good play by O'Connor for Meath. Rip-roaring stuff in this Leinster final. Foul on Brian Stafford. And Jerry McEntee has cramp. Well, if you want a diagnosis, no better man than the doc himself to know what's wrong. That's Jerry McCall, the Dublin manager. Can hardly stand the tension of it all. Jerry McEntee is okay. Limps away. Sean Boylan wants some attention for his injured midfielder. And now we are having a look at Jerry. Goes back to America tonight, Jerry McEntee. Just flew over for the game today. And he have to go off. He has to go off, and it looks like Matty McCabe is coming into the Meath team. It is indeed Matty McCabe. It's a long one, this, for Stafford. 48 metres from the Dublin goal. Sean O'Leary comes to play it. Hard battling stuff it really is. And Liam Hayes trying to get through. Meath looking for something. In goes Matty McCabe! Super sub McCabe. But when Meath are looking back on this, they'll thank the big man Liam Hayes, who battled like an all-black fold. Look at the work that Hayes did. He was going to hold on for dear life, and McCabe with the finish. Meath, incredibly, again with a man short, are leading by a point. There's a man who loves the Royal County. Look at him. And Barney Rock is fouled. A little too far from the house of scoring for Barney, but he'll lob it in around the square. rivals. There's number 18, Declan Bulger, getting ready to show his paces. He's not fully fit, but he might have a few minutes in him. Drops to Vinnie Murphy. That's a brilliant goal by Murphy. That's a goal of quality on the outside of his right boot. When other avenues to goal looked to be shut off from, the youngster from Trinity Gales came good. It was Barney Rock's free kick. Murphy, look at that for finish. Brilliant. Unsighted keeper. Dublin go for the clincher. Galvin. His first score, but what an important one. .210 to 110. From suddenly Meath in front, it's Dublin a goal to the good. But here's a man who inspired Meath when they were down before, the mighty Hayes from screen. Oh, it was a brilliant goal by Vinnie Murphy for Dublin. Jerry Horgan gets a claw to it. McKennedy, Kennedy to Carr. Up to Joe McNally. McNally goes for a score and gets it. What a score by Joe McNally, his first of the game, but he won't mind waiting until 3 minutes from the end to get it. It puts his county 4 points to the good. And surely now, Meath have said goodbye to Sam. Eamon Heary holds on over Carries. Or can one afford to write off Meath yet? Personally, I wouldn't. Porrick Lyons. Knocked down by P.J. Gillick. Here's Tommy Carr. Had a tremendous game at centre half back. Paul Curran for Dublin. Martin O'Connell with Vinnie Murphy. Well held O'Connell. Fouled, free kick. Eamon Heary. 2-11-1-10. The Dubs in front, the champions on the rack. Kevin Foley. Matty McCabe won't make it. The pass never really gave him a chance. 2 minutes left. In around the house. It breaks down to Murphy again. Vinnie Murphy has made it 1 goal and 2 points on his personal tally. Bobby O'Malley, twice an All-Star, twice an All-Ireland winner. Martin O'Connell here for Meath. But the extra man is beginning to tell, and Dublin are using it well and wisely. Kevin Foley. Matty McCabe. Brian Stafford. P.J. Gillick. Colin O'Rourke took his eye off the ball. He was taking a move ahead. Now it's Bernard Flynn. Flashed by the eyes of Stafford. Hayes to Foley. Foley to Stafford. A heavy hit there by Foran. Oh, Meath, they're throwing it away. That was P.J. Gillick. Back there is Eamon Heary for Dublin. Bobby O'Malley, P.J. Gillick. A little over-anxiety now in the Meath men. The game is in time added on as Joe Castles takes it up for Meath. Colin O'Rourke goes for it. But Michael Deegan is there and fouled. Free out for the Dubs. And it's all over. Meath went out as they came in like champions, but for once they couldn't survive a man short. The Dubs are back. The purists may say the football wasn't great, but those that played in a Croke Park, I'd say, enjoyed every kick and every second of it. The final score again, a 5-point win for the men of Dublin. Converted from goals into points, 18 to 13. It's going to be Cork and Dublin one more time en route to the All-Ireland.
Good game of football. all the skills were there today. Fair game, and I think we just about deserved to win it on the day.
Kieran, it was a late show as far as you're concerned. When did you realise you were playing?
Well, I didn't actually know until we were warming up out on the field. Charlie had to go through a bit of a fitness test, and with probably seconds to go before the match, it was decided then not to risk Charlie, so they threw me in then. We had a few scares. Barney Rock was injured, taking it easy. We had numerous injuries, but on the day they all came right.
You had nice things to say at the end of the presentation to Meath. Would you like to say them again?
Yeah, they have been great champions, Leinster champions. Fair play to them. I played against them 3 times in 83, 84, 85, and I won 3. They bet me about 86, 87 and 88. So this year at 89 and 1 up on them. But in fairness to me, they're a great sporting side. I don't believe what people do say about them being over physical. It's always physical between Dublin and Meath, but not to the extent where people write about it in the paper. I found today's game fair and I enjoyed it.
Yes, a feeling not only, I think, of jubilation around Croke Park this evening, but of relief too, as the Dubs finally managed to crack Meath's stranglehold in Leinster. Well, Jack O'Shea watched that match with me today. Jack, as Jerry Hargan was saying there, it was maybe not a classic game of football, but a good, tough, exciting game.
Yeah, Michael, it was very exciting from the very start. I think even before the ball was thrown in, the supporters were gearing themselves up. I think the match was a typical Leinster final between Dublin and Meath. On the day, I think Dublin got stuck in. They went about their task. I think overall, if you look at the game, that if you go through the Dublin team, every one of their players played well, maybe all to Dave Sinnott. If you go through the Meath team, there's a lot of their players didn't come up to scratch, and I think that's why the result is Dublin's tonight.
Well, it's been a great few years for Meath. Leinster titles, 2 All-Ireland titles, but of course that was all lost today. Now, going into this game, the big talking point from a Meath point of view was Mick Lyons not being there, and certainly the Meath defence seemed to suffer on that.
Yeah, I think Mick Lyons is a big loss to Meath. I think over the last couple of years, Mick Lyons has been the pivot of their defence. Today, I think they had to bring Jerry Hargan back. We saw some very bad clearances out of their defence, like Martin O'Connell in that case. He didn't give David Biggie any real chance of getting that ball. There was a lot of uncertainty about the Meath play. Nearly all of their quick frees went astray. Dublin intercepted most of their quick frees. Every time Meath got possession today, they gave the ball away very simply again to Dublin. Here we have another instance. Dave Foran with the ball. He drives the ball in, a hopeless ball probably into the corner. Liam Harnan collects. Yeah. Comes out and actually...
We just missed the end of that one there, but he came out to
and he passed the ball back to Dave Foran again.
Exactly, yeah. Now, there were 2 goals, or 3 goals in the match, but there were 2 goals in the match that, well, let's say there was a question mark over. Now, one of them was Kieran Duff's goal. Now, this was really a marvellous goal, and I suppose it's almost churlish, Jack, to say anything critical about this goal if we have a look at it again. A fabulous one, not unlike Ambrose Donovan's goal scored last week in the Munster final, a real cracker to the roof of the net. But there was a question about the steps he took, and you've been counting them.
Yeah, Kieran here does tremendous well. It's a tremendous goal. But I think just before he kicks the ball, he actually kicks it on the 8th step. And we just see there on the clip Robbie O'Malley complain to the referee about the steps. But having said that, I think here again, the Meath goal, Liam Hayes went down here, picked the ball cleanly off the ground, got up, I think barged through, which would be free out. It could be a penalty. It could have been lots of things. Don't ask me how the ball came back into play again. And the Meath, so I don't think there's any cribs of those 2 goals.
Sure. Having a look at that one again, there was a mishmash of frees as far as I could see here. They could go either way. John O'Leary definitely seemed to jump over Liam. Liam picked the ball foul off the ground in the middle of all that. Could have been a penalty there. And eventually, as you said, somehow it magically arrived out to Matty McCabe. So you can make your own minds up about that one. Yeah, right, Jack. Who did you pick as your man of the match from this?
Well, it was a very tough decision because all the Dublin players played tremendously well. I think that 3 half-backs were the stronghold in their team. I picked Tommy Carr. I thought he was tremendous throughout. One thing that stood out to me today, when Kyle was sent off, Tommy Carr was the extra man. And over the years we've seen the extra man go to waste. But today I think Tommy Carr did a tremendous job. He never left his position number 6. He was the extra man most of the second half and he cleaned up everything. I give the man of the match to Tommy Carr.
Good. OK, Jack. Thank you very much for the moment. Well, right now we're going to take a commercial break.